So till time we had visited peripheral, after that interface, after that we had visited how interface can be visualized between our CPU and various peripheral device. Further, we had seen one difference, that is isolated versus memory mapped IO, and we had also seen one of the example of interface. Then we had started what do you mean by synchronous data transfer, asynchronous data transfer, and what are the techniques for asynchronous data transfer. So in that we had completed one, that is strobe pulse, right? So both the technique are having sub two types. One is um, source initiated and second one is the destination initiated data transfer in the asynchronous manner, right? So in the strobe control, we had seen like in the source initiated will transfer from source to destination, as well as in destination initiate also will transfer from source to destination. But after that, we are using one strobe which will give notification to the destination level. कि भाई, okay, now we had started transformation, right? But in both the case, there is no acknowledgement like whether data has been received, whether transmission has started or anything at the source side as well as at the destination side. So that is you can consider as disadvantage in this source initiated as well as in the destination initiated method, right? So we had moved towards the handshake method. So what is the major advantage of handshake method? That it will provide some acknowledgement signal towards the source as well as destination as per the requirement, right? So whenever you want to start transformation, you will get some acknowledgement, as well as whenever you want to receive something, you will get some acknowledgement signal. So that is why handshake is better. So in exam, it can be asked like, what do you mean by asynchronous data transfer? Explain both the technique in brief. Or any technique can be asked in detail, like explain stroke control in detail, explain handshake in detail, or it even can be asked in 4 mark, like explain source initiated handshake method, explain destination initiated stroke control. So you need to draw this both the diagram, block diagram and timing diagram, as well as you need to explain as per the weightage of marks. You need to write it down, as well as comparison can also ask according to you which technique is better, why, right? So you need to write some justification to choose a particular method. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so in the handshake method, we'll use acknowledgement signal. So that technique can be better. You can write down your answer like this, right? And if it is asked in detail, then you need to write accordingly. So I guess source initiated we had completed in the last session. So in the source initiated method, again, the transformation way will be fixed, like we are transferring from source to the destination, right? But what is changed is that the acknowledgement signal which we are getting from the destination. So that detailed flow we had illustrated in this sequence of event. Like from the source unit, whenever we are starting transformation, we are placing data on the bus. Then after we had enable this signal, data valid signal, right? So data is transferred on this bus. Then after we are enabling this signal, So once the data is accepted from the bus towards the destination unit, will send again enable data accepted signal. So what it means? It means that we had accepted data at a destination unit. So you can stop sending data from the source again, or you can simply invalid or deactivate those connection line. So once that status we are getting towards the source unit, what source will do? Source will disable those data valid line, as well as it will invalidate data on the bus. So as it is invalidate data on the bus, that means now the same data is not required to transfer on the same line. So you can stop sharing that thing. Once that signal will be reached toward the source, what source will do? Source will disable everything, and after that again what signal destination will get? Destination will get signal like the disable data accepted line. Obviously it will disable, as well as it will be ready to accept the next data. Right, again in short it will be moved towards the initial state. So is it clear everyone? Now this is the description that also we had seen in the last class. Okay, next is destination initiated transfer using handshake. So as here we had initiated from the destination, that means we'll get first signal from the destination only. So what is that? See over here. First, destination will send signal like ready to accept the data. So until and unless source will not get this information from the destination, it will not start transforming the data, right? So first, it will send signal like ready to accept the data, as well as it will be enable this ready for data line. It is enabling this ready for data line. So once this signal can be fetched by the source from the destination, source will plan to send the data. Till that time, source will not send anything towards the destination, right? So that is the major change in case of destination initiated transfer. So once it will be ready to accept the data, what source will do? Source will place data on the bus, same we are doing in every approach, right? After that it will be enable the data valid line. That means now it is having some data and it is sending towards the destination. So those data will going to accept by the bus, sorry, accept by the destination, so it will be accepting those data, and at that time it will also disabling ready for data line. Why? Because now it is accepting some data and it will start processing on that. So at the same time it cannot accept data from the source, so it will be disabling the same line. After that the same signal can be fetched towards the source. So what it will do? It will simply disable that data valid line. So once it will be send that same signal to the source, what it will do, it will disable that line, as well as it will be invalidate data on the bus, right? So no other data can be placed towards the destination, right? In short, it will be transferred towards the original state. Just a second. Fine. So again, we'll redirect to the initial state. So handshaking provides a high degree of flexibility and reliability. So this point also you can add in the advantage of your handshake method, right, over to your stroke control method. Because the successful completion of a data transfer relies on an active participant by both the unit. Because see, in the earlier method, that is in the stroke control, will not have this acknowledgement method. So what will happen? It will simply send continuously sending from the source side, and if destination is free, then it will going to accept. But there is nothing like two-way communication, right? So that method is not that much reliable as compared to this handshake, right? As well as if one unit is faulty, data transfer will not be completed. So until and unless both unit are not active, that means source and destination both are not active, till that time we are not able to get and to, I mean, to send or receive the data. Okay. The source unit in this case does not place data on the bus until after it receives the ready for data signal from the destination unit, right? So that is why it can be said as a two-way communication, because we are getting signal from the destination unit. After that only source will start the sending. From there on, the handshaking procedure follow the same pattern as in the source initiated case. Okay. So rest of the things are same. Once we'll get that acknowledgement, other steps are same in both the method, in case of handshake or in case of stroke control. So is it clear, student? Fine. So yes, now next is mode transfer. So see, till time we had placed the activity of data transformation, right? But whenever we're planning to send the data, we might need to take care about various modes. So yes, let's relate this terminology with our real-time example. For example, whenever your new semester is going to start, right? So at a backend, what procedure will take place? Will allocate various faculties, like the particular faculties will going to teach COA and other subjects, right? Once those faculties are fixed, we'll also decide that by particular faculty will teach in TC1 class, after that in TC2, and so on. Okay. So once that thing is decided, that means that is fixed. Ki by I myself will going to teach in your class. But once transformation is decided, after that we need to also focus on the mode of transformation. That means whether will teach you on online mode, whether will teach you on offline mode, as well as whether will teach you on the hybrid mode. So that particular phenomena called as a mode of transfer, or here we can say mode of lecture delivery, right? So the same thing will focus on this topic, like once asynchronous data transfer is take place, at that time we'll came across with different mode. So basically there are total three types of mode. One is program controlled IO, second one is interrupt initiated, and third one is direct memory access. Okay. So every individual mode can be asked in as in one question. Like DMA is quite a big question, so it can be asked individual in the 8 mark, as well as it can be asked like what do you mean by mode of transfer, explain any two method in brief. So likewise you need to write down, right? So here mainly data transfer we can fix between our CPU and you can say input output devices, or CPU and various peripheral devices, right? So it can be handled in different mode. So here we'll focus on this three mode. One is program controlled, second one is interrupt initiated, third one is direct memory access. Okay, so today we'll see this mode, that is program controlled IO. So see, programmed IO, that is nothing but you can say some operation which we are performing. So programmed IO operation are the result of you can say some input output instruction. Some input output instruction we had transferred towards the CPU. So that will be considered as some programmed input output operation, right? And those program input output operation are written in form of computer program. So that is why the complete term considered as an program controlled IO. Why? Because some input output instruction we are forwarding towards the CPU. Those instruction can be treated as a various program IO operation, right? And that operation is nothing but we are returning in terms of computer program, right? So now, usually this transfer we are making in terms, where is, okay, making in terms of CPU to the IO, or you can say IO towards the CPU, right? So we'll have these two term as a source and destination, okay? So once we are done, we are fixing this source and destination, we'll start transforming the data. Okay, so that one is considered as a mode of transfer. So see over here, at a CPU side as well as at a IO devices side, we'll have this data bus as in bidirectional manner. That means we are able to get data from the IO devices as well as we are able to get data from the CPU devices. Now, whomsoever will start transformation, first those data will be stored in this data register of our interface. Okay, the data will be stored on this data register of our interface. So that value first we are checking with help of this status register. So how it will work? See, it will provide one flag, right? And we'll check whether the value of flag is 1 or 0. Initially, before starting the transformation, we'll check whether the value of flag is 0 or 1. So if it is 0, that means initially will not have free CPU, or you can say free IO, so that we cannot place that data. But if the value of this flag register is 1, you can see over here, if the value of flag register is 1, that means we can place the transfer, we can read those data. So here read data register, right? So suppose CPU want to send data towards the IO device. First CPU will store that information in the data register. Now before reading, we need to check the flag register. So if flag register value is 1, That means our IO device is in a position to fetch or to read some data. So it will read data register and then it will transfer those data. Same way from the IO device, if IO device want to transfer some data, first it will be stored in data register. Flag value can be checked. If it is 1, then those data can be read by the CPU from this data register. Right? So after that we'll check if operation is completed. If yes, then we'll continue with that program. If no, then we'll again read the status. Until status is 1, we need to continue with this. And until status is 0, we need to check that flag bit. We continuously need to check that flag bit value. So here data bus, after that address which CPU wants to store into interface. After that IO read line and IO write line. So read line will be active in case of when we need to give some input towards the IO device, and write line will be active in case when we need to fetch some value, like when we need to print some value to the printer. Okay. So this program control can be asked in 6 mark as an individual question. So is it clear, student? Yes, can anyone reply? Is it clear? Okay, Anjali, what is your number? Anushri, Ayush, Aziz, Bhavya,
22.
Chirag, Darshan, Dev Dodakya, Dhrumil, Divyansh, Drasti, Hardesh. The students who are replying lately, I will not mark you present. Haresh, even those who are replying earlier, also I will not mark you present. Anil, Hinal, Hitansh, Isha, Janvi, Joy, Kandar, Kevin, Kirtan, Krishna, Kunj, Kushal,
Yes, ma'am.
Number, Madhavan, Nancy, Neil,
Ma'am, D2D 39.
Nilesh, Palak, Parth, Pooja, Prachi, Prince, Priyansh, Rahil, Rahul, Raj, Richa, Sachin, Sarju, Shivanand, Shivangi, Shreya, Swati, Tanzil, Tarun, Tulsi, Mani, Vedant, Viraj, Vishnu, Yash, Yashvi, Yojit. Those who are replying lately, I will not mark you present. Whenever I had asked your name, if you had not replied, I will not mark you present. And even though if you are having network problems, sometimes it is fine, right? because mostly you all are getting present. So sometimes if you go to absent, that is fine. Fine, you all can leave. Thank you everyone.